We
Okay.
we are.
Am I?
Hold on, I gotta shut this off.
All right. We're live. Hi,
We are
Ed.
live.
How
Gigi,
you
where you
doing?
been? You've been
Huh?
in Paris. You've been in
No,
France.
I was in.
We missed you 2 weeks straight.
Hey, you know what? I deserve it. I deserve it. Okay. All right. We
Yo,
work hard. I had things to do, see family, stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah. You on the boat too in Connecticut, so.
Gigi, that was a conversation we were having. I didn't need you to just tell the world that.
Good morning, everyone. Where is everybody? I know it's the last week of the month.
That's it.
Everybody is probably away trying
Vacation.
to catch a little bit. You see, look, I just got somebody walking in the office, and we're live. Hi, Kathy.
Hey,
This
Kathy.
is the whole world looking at. Yes. I have some keys to give to Deborah. I thought he was gonna come much earlier. Okay, guys, give me one little second.
Good morning. Good morning. Now we have to figure out who Facebook user is, Gigi.
Huh?
We have to figure out who Facebook user is.
There you go.
Look
I
at
know I'll have to figure that out. So this morning's let's talk about what we need to talk about today. Should we share on it?
Real quick, we literally traded Israel for Gigi now. Now Israel's on vacation.
And this is so today, so Israel is with us in spirit.
Yes,
I'm glad it's also taking off.
Enjoy.
All right, so today we need to discuss the ever so boring and subject we want to all avoid at all cost: time management. Because it's a hard thing. It's hard, right?
It's not
but
easy.
In the end, I think a lot of people have different see time management differently, right? Everybody has their own opinion on time management. Some people think it's doing the most in the least amount of time. And in our business, it might not be that, right? What's your take on time management, Ed?
It's the most scariest thing that I think agents are afraid of, if you ask me.
I am scared of it too.
Everybody's scared of it. You know why? Because you literally get in business to be your own boss. And then you're like, what do you mean I got to set up a schedule and do all this stuff, you know? And then it's like, so there's a learning curve, I think, when it comes to that. But it's all good. I mean, it's something that we have to learn. I'm not great at it. Okay. I'm not perfect. I'll be honest. We all have to work on it. And it's something that we work on day to day, week to week.
I think it's an ever, first of all, time management is so organic because you have to be flexible with your time, and most importantly, you have to also know what your priorities are. So then your time, like you need to manage your time a little bit differently according to your priority. It's a hard lesson for somebody like me who's really not detail oriented, who's like gets distracted by a shiny object the minute it's just like, oh, something else. Yeah, oh, okay, I forgot. So I need time management as a guide. I need to have a schedule for myself as a guide. Otherwise, I'm all over the place and nothing gets done. I start a million things and I never finish. And I'm sure I'm not the only one out there from the two people that are watching us this morning. Anyway,
it's okay.
So we did find this article that was kind of cool. Let's remove that time management thing. And I guess we're going to follow along what the article was saying. Actually, it's like one of the blog from the CRM that we're using at the Vincent Koo team. It's from Follow Up Boss. All right, so it's basically time management for real estate agents, 7 tips to help you win the day. And we figured it was something where we did like their take on it, So to them, They were talking about experts that did so many studies on time management, and then especially time management for agent. Then they're saying that it became crystal clear to them that time management for realtors is not about time at all. They don't propose to just like try to pack as many things as possible in the shortest period of time, or having 70-hour week work, right? They're more about, maybe you're going to agree or disagree with me, Ed, they're more about how you're going to spend your time, how you're going to choose your priorities, and where you're going to place your focus. All right. And they're also saying that spending your focus only on work, that doesn't work, okay?
That'll
Because you
burn
need
you
to
out quick.
focus on what's important, your loved ones as well. If you're gonna, like, we had this little talk before we started the thing, if you're gonna be making $500,000 a year and you work 70 hours a week doing real estate and be a total d-bag to your wife and children, there's no point. Correct?
That's not living.
No.
Not at least a smart way. So I found out who Facebook user is. This is Melody,
Oh,
who's been sharing. So we appreciate you tuning in, Melody. I also need to work on time management. So, Geej, we're not the only two.
good.
It's hard, but it's definitely crucial in this business, most especially.
No, and like Melody, she's also, in addition to being she's working in real estate as a whole. Her whole work life is real estate, but she's
Yeah,
also a property manager, for a private company. So it's double time management. Like when you need whatever, like your work week, then you have to find time for your real estate business, and you have to find time for your family and your lovely little dog. So yeah, it's super important. Like even right now, like in the summer, what do you do? Like how do you combine everything? Like I know this is the last week of pretty much the official summer, and everybody's there with their families. And some of us, I do as well. I took 2 weeks off. I felt extremely guilty, but I was like, you know what? F it. I got to do it.
you
There were
have to.
things that needed to be done during those 2 weeks that were not work related but life related, that we decided, like, okay, we're gonna take those two weeks and do it.
Yeah, listen, that's a piggy bank, man, all in itself. You're just putting in that time and you're making those deposits. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So when you're putting in that time for family, it's funny because business is kind of like work, right? You get a job, you're employed, you work 40 hours a week, but it also involves family so that way you have a reason why, right? But now take the element out of a job, put yourself in the position where you're your own boss. Like, why do we forget that part? You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like we were accustomed to it because we were getting paid to come in at 8 a.m.,
Yeah.
clock in 8 a.m., clock out 5 p.m.
5 p.m.
That
Yeah.
was the work
Trading
day.
time for
You're
money.
there,
Yeah.
and mentally you're there, putting in. You know what I mean? And now it's like, as a realtor, it's almost like, or even when you're self-employed in business, all in general, um, it's almost like we forget that. Like,
Yeah.
we can, and we hated it so much that we can't go back to just that.
Yeah.
But it's different. It's the steps that you take moving forward in this. It's different than what it was. You know what I mean? You're no longer trading time for dollars for someone
Exactly.
else. You're now putting in deposits for yourself. You're now building your future. Because I remember hearing it. You're either gonna build someone else's dream or you're gonna build your
Your
dream.
dream. Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So what is it? What is it that you want? You
Yeah.
know, does it hurt bad enough? Does
Yeah.
it hurt? So that's really what it is. And we all get to that point, right? We
Yeah.
all get to that point where we're just gonna figure out, something's gonna click, something's gonna hit, something's gonna hit us in the heart, the head, whatever the case is. And it's like, you know what? Let me just do this. And I what I would say is the best way or the best step to take is to take it one day at a time. And that's why I like the
Which,
article you gave us.
yeah, so which lead us to, let's go and figure out, like basically the three main the lines of this article, and they're making absolute sense to me, is They're going to give out 7 tips, but overall, they're going to discuss why time management is really task
Sure
management.
is.
Time management for real estate agent begins with bite-sized goals. Put time on your side, the third one, with the right real estate systems. Like we have tools, we have like those CRMs, everything in place to help you out. And the second point was time management for real estate agent begins with bite-sized goals. And I'm always gonna go back with the story of you and Israel when you did.
You just said Israel right now, and Israel commented. So I wanted you to
Oh
see that.
yeah. And then you remember like when you guys did your daily bite-sized goals and you added a funny twist to it, let's not even discuss it because but you had those everybody has their big business plan for the year. That is fantastic. Everybody has their big schedule for the year where they put their vacation and so on and so forth. But you guys dissected this to what is my week gonna look like, and then what is my day gonna look like.
We did.
And I remember this being so brilliant. And you guys were like super focused on that. And you were focused on your task and whatever you couldn't accomplish, there was a little bit of a price to pay that was fun because it was, what was it? What's those exercises
You
called?
had to. I'll tell you exactly what it is. What you had to do was you had to hold the chair position against the wall
Oh
with your
man.
hands out. You had to hold
but
it for like
but
10 minutes or something.
I remember how helping you guys, you both of you helping one another, like there was a lot that was accomplished with that technique,
It
and
was.
I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I'm trying to still work on that method, like working on my task and prioritizing. Not always the
Yeah.
best thing, but it's always a work in progress because we're human. There's a lot of ancillary factors, and well, let's face it. But anyway, why time management is really task management, so they were talking about that 80-20 rule that says that 80% of your results comes from 20% of the effort you just put in, right?
Yep.
They're saying that time management systems that focus on what you're doing rather than how long you're doing it, they've been around for about like, I would say 200 years. All right. And they came up later, like all that can be discussed. I don't know if you guys read it, The 7 Habits of the Highly Effective People.
Really
This
good
is
book.
a good book if you really want to get into time management and tasking your day. This is like a great one to start with. And in that as well is discussed, and I think we discussed it another time, probably a year ago, the Eisenhower method,
I
like
remember we did that in class.
the way of organizing your life
Yeah,
into 4 categories. I don't know if you remember that.
I do. We did that in class actually. I call it class, but we had a training that we did in the office.
Yeah. So
You guys,
let me show you guys what that
here we
Eisenhower
go.
thing just looks like nothing crazy. All right. Just so you can see like it falls into 4 categories of what is.
Well, first,
Yeah.
what it does is it breaks it down into simple choices, right? You
Yeah.
have a choice at the end of the day. So it's one is what's important and what's urgent.
Yeah.
So either one's going to be important and urgent, or one's going to be the other, or they're both going to be extreme, or they're not going to be extreme. So that's kind of the breakdown of the Eisenhower matrix.
Yeah.
You know what I
So
mean?
important but not urgent.
That,
Urgent and important. So this one is forget it.
that has to
This
get
one you
done right
have to
away.
do. Not important, not urgent. It's like last thing to do. Urgent but not important. So
Yeah,
to me, I would do urgent and important first,
correct.
and important but not urgent, and then do urgent but not important, and delegate it to
Ooh.
somebody else.
Well, then I guess that almost go. Well, I mean, I don't want to overthink it, but like, because sometimes you do get urgency, and it's like, what do? Is important more important than urgency, or is urgency more important than important? You know, it
Yeah,
can be kind of
but if it's
confusing, but
urgent, let's say, okay, let's say you have, let's get an example without using an administrative assistant. Let me find something. Or something where you can delegate.
yeah,
Dry cleaning stuff. It is urgent. It's 6:45.
now,
The dry
is dry
cleaning
cleaning?
service.
When you say dry cleaning, are we also talking about laundry, like
Yes,
laundry?
the dry
Yeah.
cleaning store is closing at 7. And in there is a gown that you're going to need for the next, it's Friday evening, and you need that gown for Saturday afternoon because you're going to have one of those formal events. It is not that important because you could be wearing something else, but it's urgent because the store is going to be closing, right?
Mm, that's a
So
tough. That's a tough crumb to
you don't have to actually do that yourself, right? I think
laundry.
you can send a friend, you can send your cousin, even if you don't have the ticket. You
Oh,
know,
to pick it
you
up, to
probably
pick
have
up the
yourself a
load. Yeah,
ticket.
yeah,
Give
yeah,
them the number on the ticket or give them the name on the account, and you can retrieve that thing. So that's what I'm talking about: urgent but not important,
makes sense.
right?
Makes sense.
Right. So let me see what this article was saying. I need my glasses. All right, so this widely used grid helps categorize your to-do list so you can determine whether you need to attend a task personally, do it now versus later, or if it can be delegated to someone else, or if it even needs to be done at all.
Mm,
All right. So, like putting your to-do list into a grid like this is basically allow you to prioritize, you know? And I
right.
think it's pretty good because sometimes we're going to lose the focus, like I've seen agents, and I probably was guilty myself of doing it, of spending 2 hours on creating a flyer for an open house.
Mm,
That total waste of time. Important because you need the flyer for your open house,
correct.
right?
Correct.
But why spend 2 hours when now we do have a matrix? We have like a template for open house stuff, and you just plug in things, and it's a 5-minute process. Boom,
Yeah.
end of story, right?
No, it's true.
So that's why you need to install systems. All right. So how do you? The question is,
So it's funny because I'm sorry, G. So
yeah,
it's
no, go
funny
ahead.
because if we're now looking at it, what this will do is, and if you really just take a moment, if you're watching, if you're tuning in, just take a moment, think about your task for the rest of today. It's 11:18. Think about the rest of your task for today. If you could actually categorize the rest of your day in what you believe is on your to-do list,
Yeah.
try to fit it into this Eisenhower matrix. Try to see and categorize, hey, what's more important, what's least important, and which one should I attend to first and which should I attend to later. I
Right.
think that would be very interesting. And if you guys have a funny experience, comment later, comment over the weekend. The video is going live now, but it's going to forever be out there. So
Yeah.
I'm curious. I want to know if this and again, just day-to-day activities, right? Today, it's the weekend. So don't worry, you don't have to do it tomorrow. But if you do it tomorrow, you'll start to create a habit in 21 days from now. It'll just be another thing that you do on a day-to-day activity.
Right. Those are so little tips. Let's go over some of those great tips they had. So, time
Mm-hmm.
management for real estate agents. Let's not dwell on that Eisenhower matrix. They have
No, we don't
hundreds of
have to.
articles. They have some good YouTube videos as well.
Yeah.
So let's start. Let's discuss the bite-size goal. That was like,
Yeah.
I've seen you and Israel actually mastering this
So that
with,
was our blueprint. That was like literally the blueprint what they're talking about, which we set up, and we literally took it from what it is from a yearly thing broke it down to monthly, broke it down to a weekly, broke it down to daily, and that's how we
Yeah.
were able to create a daily goal. So literally, it's funny because as I read this, it actually does have it, right? Like it says, how many deals will I have to close to hit that number? We were
Yeah.
talking about it all the time, right? Agents always say, hey, I want to close one deal a month, two deals
Yeah.
a month. Great. So what is that? 12 deals a year, 12 deals a year, 24 deals a year. You know what I mean? How many clients or listings am I currently representing? So now we gotta set it up, right? How many buyers, how many sellers are you gonna need?
Right. So you
Right?
need the big picture, and then you just narrow it down.
To the
Narrow it
bite
down.
size.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
basically
Yeah.
break it all down, and it's funny because we were literally engaging with somebody the other day, and they were talking about, oh no, what am I saying? It was the Gap Mastermind when they were talking about how do you eat an elephant, right? And really, the way it said is the way you eat an elephant is one bite at a time, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's the little
Yeah.
things that you do on a day-to-day
Right.
basis.
Right.
And even if tomorrow, even if today, oh man, you slept past your clock, you did this, you didn't do that, you could
Yeah.
have did this. Don't beat yourself over it. Luckily, thank God, when the next day comes, kickstart it again. You have the opportunity to start doing this today. It's
Right.
up to you to do it today. It's up to
But
you.
what you guys did were like bite-sized goals every day. What not out of the blue goals based
No.
on your business plan, based on your what you need to do quarterly, monthly, weekly,
Yeah.
then your daily goals. And then you took actionable goals. They were like production-based goals for your business, which was like that was like absolutely brilliant.
Mhm.
Right. So this article gives you a tip number one: do the important and urgent task first. It goes without saying, right?
Correct.
Um, so if it has to be done today and it's super important for your life or business, let's do it.
Yeah,
That's right.
for sure.
Yeah. I don't even want to dwell on that because it's like, oh,
Mhm.
yeah, this is it. Make tip number two was make quick work of whatever you can do quickly. So uh, they behind the idea of the 80-20 rules, they were breaking down the task into four categories.
Mhm.
All right, the do, defer, delegate, and delete. All right. So if you're going back to that time management matrix, that's what you had,
Yeah.
right?
They call it the four D's of time management. So
Yeah. Did I have a little thing on this? Let me
a
see.
slide.
No, I don't.
Mhm.
Because I want to buggle down with. Sometimes I just hate slides.
Yeah.
All
No, listen,
right.
it's almost like we can't stop drilling it enough, and it's literally that. It's such a simple thing to do, but we find it so hard to like kind of just carry on and do it because maybe we're not accustomed to it. We don't feel
Yeah.
like, oh, this is, but literally breaking these things down is just gonna help you achieve those little tasks, right? Getting to the next call, getting to the next lead. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like that's what this is gonna help you do versus, oh yeah, I have to do it. Like Gigi said, I have to do flyers. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, create systems where your flies can be done. If you could delegate it to someone, to an assistant, great. If you can't, put systems in place where you don't have to recreate the whole template. Use the same template that works for you and just plug in the photo and pretty much, all you have to change. It's always the same thing: lot size, house size, maintenance if it's a co-op or a condo, or
mhm.
taxes, and pet friendly, not pet friendly,
Yeah.
new construction, new kitchen, not new kitchen. It's the same thing. All right. So once you know that, because anyway, open house flyers will be tossed in the garbage pretty quickly. But you want to make sure that at least your buyer has something to hold on to, or maybe call you back, or you at least get, it's a give and take. You give me your phone number, I'm going to give you a flyer. It's that,
You
right?
know what? Here's a little tip. Save the trees. Okay. Get one of those. Get one. We look. We went through a lockdown that forced everyone to utilize smart technology. So
Yeah.
with that being said, save the trees. Go print out one little simple flyer that has a QR code that redirects them back to your website, and make sure you have a trackable system on your website so
Yeah.
you know that this lead came in and it's going to ask them for their information, and now you can track it. And now they get the information directly to their phone, because we already know you hand out a flyer, you give that out, somebody's going to take it and throw it in the garbage. That ain't going nowhere. And we're literally printing paper for no reason. So that was
Right.
my rant.
Right.
Save
So
the
tip number 3 was embrace, and this one is hard, and this one nobody wants to hear about. Embrace distraction-free realtor time blocking.
Huh? What'd you say?
Eh?
Hold on, somebody's calling me.
Here we go. You see?
Hold on, I'll be right back.
So,
Who's there?
block, I mean, like, set up some time, and I'm going to say something everybody hates. Like, most and foremost, oh, I got to put what Israel is putting on right now. Oh, man. Okay. Let's read. Best way to, this is what Israel is saying before we even move on to the next thing. Best way to use the time wisely: leverage those tools or people around you to do the thing that's a waster for you, and to continue build on the skill or skills you excel on. Very good. If you're not that great at doing something and it's not that important, first of all, if it's very important, have somebody help you with it. And it's not that important, delegate. Delegate. Let them do it. Absolutely, absolutely right. Let's get back to time blocking. And this was like my major issue, because anyway, let's talk about the big boogeyman. We need time for prospecting calls. What you call that? Lead generation. Nobody likes to have that word either. Having real estate conversations. In order to be able to be successful at this, to generate more clients, you need to block some time. Pretty much every day of your working week. And on this, it should be only about you have a 2-hour prospecting window. It should be only about prospecting. If you want to divide it between 1 hour here and 1 hour there, fine. And at that time, you should not allow any interruption during that time where you're actually generating some money. It's been also, who was it? I guess it's in the article as well. There was somebody mentioning that would be even more. I know we don't have any landlines anymore, but put your phone on do not disturb while you're making your prospecting call. So everything goes to voicemail, right away. And you can actually, nothing is important. If it's really, really important, you'll see it. And if like your mother died, well, I don't want to say anything, but
Damn. This
hey, I know. Listen, I think I'm going to give you a story. I don't even remember. I don't even think Vincent remembers. We were having a management meeting when we were with our other franchise, with the transaction coordinator we used to have. And then, we're trying to plan our week.
Yeah.
And my mother, my sister sends me a text on behalf of my mother that my aunt died.
That your aunt died?
Yes, my mother's sister.
Wow.
So emotionally, it's very heavy.
Of course.
But
I'm sorry to hear that, by the way.
I'm hearing them. No, it's a few years ago, and it's whatever. So emotionally, very heavy. But if you look at it, my aunt was in France. I'm in New York. She's dead. There's nothing I can do about that. I'm in the meeting. All I did was I told Vincent, just give me 5 minutes. I just need to, to regroup myself, because there is nothing you can do. I did not even everything was, and in the Jewish community, when someone dies, somebody gets buried pretty much right away. So there was no way I was going to make it to actually grab a plane ticket, go to friend's burial, and come back. So you
Yeah.
understand that example? It's like
It's almost like
I
you
had
just
to finish what we were doing because it wouldn't change anything else. Whatever happened to my aunt is, it's, yes, it's sad. I got sad. I needed like a few minutes to recoup, but I had to keep going on what we were doing.
yeah.
I know it seems maybe harsh for some people.
Nah, I wouldn't say so much that. It's just,
I mean,
there's look at the end of the day, here's the other kicker, right? Emotions get involved.
oh yeah.
So if you're doing business, here's an example. If you wake up on the wrong side of the bed for whatever reason, you're gonna carry that energy or that vibe, right? But now we do have the ability to say, you know what, it is what it is. Let me dust it off and try to change that, or we can now carry that energy with us. So in this case, it's like, unfortunately, somebody passed. Like
Yeah.
you said, you can't jump on the next flight to France and get there. You know what I mean? Like, it was nearly impossible. So
No,
it's almost
no.
like,
Only would be buried the next day.
yeah,
And there was no way, like no way I would grab a plane. So it's like, what yeah, the emotions are there.
of course. And you're gonna need that moment. You would think you would need a moment in time for that, of course. But there's a time and a place for everything. So with that being said, if you're in the middle of something, it's almost like, what can you really do? I have to finish this, and then I can go to attend to what I need to attend to.
Again, yeah, it's like when you know what your priorities are and where you place them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the tip number 4 was set yourself deadlines and schedules. All right.
Mm.
On this, I know it's like give you time. Like somebody like me, I definitely need deadlines and I definitely need to have a set schedule. If you look at my Google Calendar, I like
Yeah.
to color block as well. So I have
Mhm.
chunks of different colors of stuff because if I don't have anything written down, nothing is going to be accomplished. I need to tell myself this is what's going to happen today,
Mm.
right? I need to tell myself at that time, this is what you're doing. And I remember being coached by the Mike Ferry organizations, and they were telling me
Mhm.
if you can accomplish what's on your calendar 70% of the times, you're a rock star.
Yeah.
So I keep that in mind.
No.
It's not easy. I have to always be aware of what's on my calendar, always,
Mhm.
at all time. Do you have a calendar? Maybe I should show you guys what it looks like. I know. Just coming back from vacation is not that much. I was away. Let me show you the week I left. I don't know if you can see that. Let me just go back here on my tab. I don't know if this is what my calendar looks like.
Looks like the rainbow.
It's a rainbow. But I need this to survive. I just need this to see what's what. We have a meeting there. We have that. Listing appointments are in green. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Phone calls. Because if you're going to look at your Google Calendar, guys, your Google Calendar that's a great system to have. Because number one, you can schedule your events. You can schedule your tasks. You can schedule a reminder and set goals. All this in that one free application. And to me, this is a great system to have. And
Yeah.
you can integrate your Google Calendar with different CRMs. This is also brilliant, especially follow-up bots.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love it. I use Google Calendar as well.
yeah, love it. All right. Tip number 5, schedule important but not urgent tasks. Like you don't have to do it right away. Right? They're saying in this article, if the number one rule of real estate time management is to always start with the tasks that are both important and urgent, The number two rule is to make sure you schedule time for those tasks that are important but don't have to be done urgently. Okay? So, and they keep on saying, like, because here is the thing, when you're faced with a dozen urgent tasks, it can be super tempting to put off important work that will build long-term success and help you grow your business. Make sure that if you move important tasks out of your calendar or daily planner, you always slot them into your work schedule at a later time. Like, they're important, don't delete them, they're not urgent, but they're important. Don't put it today, put it tomorrow, like at a more convenient time. That's all. Have some flexibility, right? And that leads us to the three skills that you needed for successful time management, right? So I have this little slide. Don't know if you want to go through it. Let's go
I'll go
through
through
it.
it.
Yeah, let's
So
do
the
it.
three skills for time management that they're
Yeah.
discussing is awareness, adaptation, and arrangement. All right. So awareness, thinking realistically about your time by understanding it is a limited resource, right? So tying back into your day, it's like, listen, just if you put your tasks on the sheet, like I said earlier, today, for example, take everything that you have to do and put it on a sheet, break it down. This is gonna help you not only get things done a lot quicker, but you're gonna realize that you actually do have more time to take care of the other stuff, which is pretty interesting. So, adaptation, designing and organizing your goals, plans, schedules, and tasks to effectively use your time, right? And arrangement, monitoring your use of time while performing activities, including adjusting to interruptions or changing
Changing.
priorities.
Yeah. So that's the flexibility. They use the word arrangement, but that's the flexibility
Yeah.
I was talking about, because things can change. Priorities can be lessened. Like something was a big priority right now, and then something bigger came along.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that.
You have
I
to
have
live,
I had the
have
funny
to live
analogies.
both
I'm
lives.
looking at this time management, just like I don't know if you ever did that, and but when you're dating someone and you're like not sure. So you start creating that list, the pros and cons. So pros of this guy, cons of this guy, and then you make your list and you
And
look at it. There's more cons than pros. That's the end of the
then,
world.
then,
You never done that. You never like written down and say, here, this is very important, this is great, and then another great. So if the
nah,
end of that great column is
then,
really big, it's time
then.
to go.
Listen, I didn't, me, I didn't judge. I left it to faith. Hey, this person, see, like, hey, whatever.
No, I don't work like that. Anyway.
Listen, I'm optimistic. I look at the pros. Forget the cons,
That's
man. What are we
funny.
gonna focus on?
Oh, and then tip number 6 is just say no.
It's hard.
Okay?
I know. It's hard to say no, but you have to.
Yeah.
Just say no.
So again, saying in this article, they're mentioning like managing time can mean turning down requests, especially in our work structures with EXP, where we all help one another. And it's very easy that because we're so used to helping one another, somebody might come in, but it's the wrong time.
Yeah.
It's not. It's going to encroach in what you need to do right now because it's priority.
Mm-hmm.
You can say no. It's okay. Reschedule for the next time. You can limit meetings, and this is what we've been able to do. We're like, that's why we have it on the calendar. We have this meeting and we like cut it off. We start at 9. We just had our agent attraction meeting at 9. 10 o'clock out. All right. Phone calls, you can also limit your phone calls, especially if if it's a prospecting call. Okay, you're having your time slot. But if it's going to be a conversation with an agent about something, you can tell him, look, I have 10 minutes to give you right now, and it's okay. It's okay to say, no, right now I just can give you 10 minutes. Let's stick to this. Let's really talk about what's important. And then, like we'll reconvene and finish up later if we have to.
Yeah,
All right.
that's true. And I like number seven because number seven says take five. And what does that mean? Just take a break, right? So you're putting in a lot of work, you're putting in a lot of effort, you're managing your time. It doesn't mean that you can't put in time for breaks, you can't put in time for days off, or you can't put in time for vacation. So, and it's funny because in the article it just says they literally suggest to take 5 minute breaks every 25 minutes.
We should. We should.
I don't.
We should.
We're not accustomed to that. Geez, like our
I'm going
culture
to tell
goes.
you,
Hold on,
I
real quick,
used
G.
to,
Real quick,
even
G.
in
Our co-
prospecting, I used to be on the phone for those 2 hours, leave the office, go around the block by myself. And it's like meditation time. So it's about 5 minutes. You
Nice.
breathe. It's when I was like I was more conscious about mental health and so on and so forth. And it felt good because sometimes you have to, and again it's like time for meditation. So for me it was really hard because I like to, it's always thinking about something.
Yeah.
So my little trick was to, while walking around that block, was to imagine myself painting a small coffee table. So I had made this idea that I
Wow.
had found this great little coffee table and I had to repaint it. But I had a small brush, so I would paint that thing and I would just force myself to imagine myself, and this is the way I would clear my brain, how I would paint that that coffee table, that round
Interesting.
coffee table. So I would choose the color and just go over my strokes while I'm walking. And
Wow.
then you paint and you just go around the block. Your table is pretty much done, and you just cleared your brain. You haven't thought of anything that is put heavy on your mind. And yes, take five, take a break, schedule your vacation. Like if you can work your schedule around. Like I was a single parent for many years where my kids of course come first. Business
Yeah.
was great because that was my only way of that real estate business, of putting food on the table. But I would take my kids to school. 8:30 I would be in the office. I would make my prospecting calls and everything that had to do with getting business done until 2 o'clock, where I would pick the kids up from school. And then probably sometimes I'll be with them the rest of the afternoon, and sometimes in the evening I would get a babysitter if I had a listing appointment or a showing that I had to do myself. And that worked for many years, many years.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
I was there for every single school trip, every single place, as shitty as they were.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I said that's awesome.
I was, I did all the after school stuff, the parent teacher conference, the whatever you have, like when like the PTA, all that, the Girl Scout, the judo. By the way, my kids were like yellow belts for 2 years. It was fantastic. Yeah, but all with a schedule, you know.
Yeah, it's true. Once you put it together, it's literally you start to realize that you actually do have more time. The
Right,
reason
but
the
then you,
reason
you
why we
set
feel
up
like
your priority and you work around it. To me, I think you need to set up around that priority
yeah,
and work around it. And really, the calendar, the schedule is super important, and breaking down those goals. In a nutshell, this is it.
that's it, folks.
That's it.
That was our
Thank you for
breakdown.
tuning in. Okay, and please don't hesitate to send your additional comments. And if anything, I'm going to put in
Put
the
it,
article in the
yeah, put in
comments
the
right.
article in the link, or you want me to copy? Well, now you got it.
Yeah, you can do it. Do
Yeah,
it,
all
and
right.
then we'll
So I'll do
share
it
it.
right now, so that way I can. Copy and paste.
Yeah,
Boom. So the article is in the chat box.
it's
So
there.
thanks for tuning in for
Thank
sure.
you,
Time
guys.
management is not easy. It's scary. We know. Just
Yeah.
take it one day at a time. That's it. One day at a time. But try to do it. Try to organize today's task in the Eisenhower chart. And I really am curious. I want to know. So make sure you comment over the weekend how your day went when after you organized it in the Eisenhower chat. You hear
That
the
sounds
call?
very important. And yeah, like really, really, like I like the head bobbing
We
thing.
want the Eisenhower chart.
Guys, we gotta go.
We
It's
we we
Friday.
want the Eisenhower chart again. It's
Talk to you next week. For those that we see on a regular basis, see
next
you
week.
on
I'm gonna
Monday.
I'm gonna trade up. You're gonna get Israel for me. I'm gonna go on. No, I'm stop.
Yeah, do it, do it, do it.
No, no.
All
I
right.
think it's
Enjoy
Labor Day
your
now. I am
weekend,
going
guys.
camping though.
Yeah. All right.
Take care,
Bye.
everybody. Have a good
See
weekend.
you soon. Bye.
See you at the open houses.
Yeah.